Yes, everybody, what's on the West Ham Network? Hope you're safe and happy Halloween. And will it be a trick or treat as we play the Tricky Trees on Saturday? We had the Julian Lopetegui press conference a bit earlier on today, and I gave you what was said. Obviously, can't hear the journalists usually anyway. So that's why we do what we do. And also we give you the for sure counter as well. How many for sures Julien did in his very short press conference. But it's Hammers Headlines in association with the KUMB.com, boys. 3 stories. So let's crack on, shall we? Let's start with Edson Alvarez. Obviously, a key player in the West Ham side. And even so, when he's not playing, it's obvious that he's sort of the glue that joins that midfield together. I mean, the 27-year-old has become an instant fan favourite. Obviously, his disciplinary problems, have become a real issue to West Ham at times, missing key games. But there is a flip side in terms of West Ham fans like a bit of aggression. For me, West Ham sort of fan favourites fall into 2 categories. You've got your Billy Bonds type players, hard, aggressive, tenacious, keep going to the end. And then you've got your Trevor Brooking type players, more sort of flamboyant, more flair players. Very rarely getting on in the middle, but very much Edson Alvarez is in that sort of first camp. Aggressive, tenacious, hard in the tackle. And most, not just West Ham fans, most football fans like that type of player. He's Julian Lopetegui's recently spoke out about the need for Alvarez to channel that aggression in better ways. So hopefully we'll find him. He'll find a way to regulate his temper and sometimes rashness. But for me, he's got all the attributes that could make him one of the top CDMs in the Premier League easily. And in fairness to him, it seems that he's trying to do steps to get himself in that position, improve himself as a player. As according to reports, he's gone to extraordinary lengths to help improve his form. And reports in Mexico claim that Alvarez has brought over, at his own expense, his personal trainer, Guiber Becerra, over to London to help him become the best in the league, says the report. And not only that, he's also shipped over his own personal chef so that he and his family do not miss too much Mexican food too much. So not only is he trying to improve his fit, I suppose it goes hand in hand, you're bringing over your own personal fitness coach and also your chef. So that shows a real level of commitment in terms of Edson trying to improve and become the player that I think we know he can be. He's got all the attributes, that's for sure. And I think the tempo, if we could just dial it down a little bit or channel it in another way, then I think you've got a very, very good midfielder there, and possibly one of the best CDMs in the league potentially. Definitely, you'd rather have him on your side of the fence. You'd rather have him in the tent pissing out than outside pissing him. There we go. That's the best way to describe Edson Alvarez. So let's talk London Stadium news, shall we? And a report by our good friend Sean Wheatston has given some suggestions that West Ham could buy or take control of the ground, redevelop it, and even land naming rights. We've had these sort of false dawns that have happened on a regular basis, but it was revealed back in August that West Ham may potentially get full control of the stadium, akin to how Man City have the Etihad. From April 2025, the London Stadium will no longer be owned by the LLDC, the London Legacy Development Corporation, and it will be under new leadership. A report by Sean, was it Wednesday or Tuesday, might have been, opens up the real possibility of a new long lease for West Ham at London Stadium, and that would allow West Ham full control and the ability to run and manage the stadium similar to how Man City runs the Etihad. Now, obviously, that would open up more revenue streams, including naming rights, catering, sponsorship deals, which would obviously help to the coffers in terms of West Ham development on the pitch as well. The LLDC planning, policy and decisions team will cease in its function as a local planning authority for the LLDC area from midnight on the 30th of November. so just over a month's time, under a month's time, and that will return planning powers back to the local London boroughs. That coincided with the departure of the LLDC chairman and the CEO as well. And now, there is an opportunity for West Ham to start approaching the Greater London Authority for a longer lease for the stadium. Now, in terms of next year, London Stadium's owned by E20 Stadium LLP. That's going to be transferred to the London Greater Authority Holding Limited. And that move, in theory, allows the GLA the opportunity to explore granting West Ham a longer lease. The stadium itself loses around £15 million on running costs per year. A longer lease would allow West Ham full control and the ability to run and manage the London Stadium, similar, as I said, to how Man City run the Etihad. Now, Sadiq Khan, the London mayor, poured cold water on talk of selling the London Stadium to West Ham, saying, unless an offer was too good to be true, he doesn't want to sell it. However, it could mean a longer lease. West Ham currently rent the London Stadium for 25 event days per year under a concession. There's still got 88 years to run on that lease. A longer lease would give West Ham full control in principle to find the naming rights partners, and obviously we've spoken about that before, particularly going into the 26-27 season potentially as well, and operating the stadium and running catering and also running non-football events as well. Now, the stadium earns around £21.7 million in revenue last year. 6.36 came from West Ham. The UK Athletics provides no revenue, and the remainder comes from things like the baseball, the concerts, the other events, and catering as well. Stadium costs that break down as £3.5 million on wages, staff wages, 1.88 in council tax, 3.67 in utility bills, and 12.69 of other costs such as stewarding and maintenance, bringing the total expenditure to £36.5 million. That means London Stadium loses about 15 million in running costs alone. For West Ham to agree to a long lease, they would need to be confident that they could plug that £15 million black hole by running London Stadium more efficiently, bringing in more sponsorship and revenue, or from receiving a subsidy from the GLA alternatively, or maybe a combination of the two. So, it's, I know, a lot of stats, a lot of money, a lot of, facts and figures, but the fact is this is probably the simplest way that we could gain full control, in a similar way to how Man City has full control of the Etihad. Doesn't actually own the Etihad, but has full control of the Etihad because of a longer lease, in the same way that London Stadium could be under full control of West Ham. And this is all because of the LLDC disbanding and it moving back to the GLA as the holding companies of the actual stadium running. So watch this space. But obviously nothing will happen until from the summer of 2025 onwards, but maybe it's taken almost 10 years. Not 10 years, but we're getting there. But there may be some green shoots potentially, maybe. Now, somewhere that there won't be green shoots just yet is the Lucas Paqueta hearing. Obviously, we spoke about it on Tuesday, saying they were trying to get an injunction or trying to get a delay in the hearing in Brazil, as they thought that would impede fairness for the FA hearing. That was not likely to be agreed, but then was literally agreed at the last minute by the CPI in Brazil. But according to friend of the channel, Tim Vickery, he spoke about the allegations, and the uncle of the West Ham midfielder Lucas Paqueta is reportedly under investigation as the key figure in the betting controversies involving the family across Europe and South America. Now, Tim claimed a member of Paqueta's family was suspected to be the ringleader, so to speak, and that is believed to be Bruno Toliento. He's actively seeking to avoid a mandatory appearance before the Brazilian hearing as well, claiming that any summons would violate constitutional rights. Despite this, he may still face a subpoena and would have to testify and possibly result in legal repercussions. If summoned, his attendance is anticipated to shift from voluntary to compulsory, heightening the potential for serious sanctions against Bruno. Although he maintains his innocence, reports suggest he has admitted to profiting from at least one of Lucas's yellow cards in a West Ham match, yet denies any prior knowledge of the timing of the booking. So he's admitting to he's admitting to placing a bet on a yellow card, but wasn't aware that this was any prior knowledge of when the booking will take place, if that makes sense. He's also accused of transferring funds to Botafogo's Luis Henrique in early 2023 following his yellow card events while playing for Real Betis in Spain. It's all looking very messy at the moment, let's be honest. Now, I think it's going to, for me, it's going to come down to how much Lucas knew about it. Now, by the sounds of it, they had the phone and they've gone through the phone, and they tried to, claim that they didn't give it back to him. When they wanted it, he couldn't give it back to him because he changed phones. They'd had several months on that phone anyway, and it's whether. Bruno has admitted, his uncle has admitted that he placed a bet and won money on a book on Lucas being booked, which is in itself a bit strange. Particularly as a family member. Oh yeah, my nephew's definitely going to get booked this week. It's a bit strange, isn't it? The pieces aren't adding up to me a little bit, but whether we assume, it's innocent until proven guilty, but it just seems a bit strange, isn't it? Seems a bit strange. And that is it, my friends. Thank you very, very much for listening. If you're new around here, I say give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe. Don't forget to check out needsmybrand.com for latest news, reviews, and opinions. We'll be back tomorrow with all the preview stuff ahead of the game on Saturday. And until next time, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, and come on, you bloody, bloody, bloody irons. Much love.